I'm not tired of Resident Evil, and hopefully you are not either. It's time to review another Resident Evil series. Let's jump into that right now. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new Netflix series Resident Evil, which is going to be releasing July 14th. Now, it is 8 episodes, an hour each. This is live action. So yes, there's an animated Resident Evil series, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. There's been so much Resident Evil wherever you look. But yeah, this is the new live action Netflix series Resident Evil, again releasing July 14th. 8 episodes, about an hour each. Now, in this one, this takes us to a new, as they call new Raccoon City, which is in South Africa. This is taking place in 2036, which is 14 years since the spread of Joy. Now, Joy is this new drug that they're testing at Umbrella, which is supposed to be the answer to a lot of depressing mental health issues. So it's an antidepressant, and we know how Umbrella is in terms of testing, and then the whole T virus. And yes, they definitely talk about what had happened at Raccoon City, the cover up, the scandal, all that other sorts of different things. But look, they're right back at it. And now at this point now, they're in the position of, did they learn from their mistakes, and how do they move forward in changing the world? But in this one, we focus on the Wesker family. That's right. Yeah, I know the name Wesker, but two names you may not have heard because they're new to the series is Jade and Billie, as they are the kids of Albert Wesker. And with that being said, we are seeing Albert in a way we haven't seen him before, you know, as the sort of corporate Umbrella guy, as a dad to his two daughters. And then we see the two daughters as they try to adapt in their new home in new Raccoon City. And with that, you know, we have Billie and Jade when they're younger. Then we have another timeline going on when Jade, as she is as an adult who has her own family. First thing with me with this series is that, like, if you are a Walking Dead fan, this gives me Walking Dead World Beyond vibes. And and let me be clear, I did like World Beyond, but like that plus like a little bit of Spy Kids, and yeah, there's like a lot of exaggerated drama and CGI. The first 2 episodes are a little rough to watch, but stick with it because I felt it got better and better, you know. But the first 2 were just completely like, I'm not sure about this at all. I had a lot of reservations about it because not only that, the CGI and the dramatics, I thought the toning was like very different from anything that we've seen in previous Resident Evil films or just titles. We'll just say that. So yeah, it was a little bit of a rough beginning, but I did warm up to it after a while. And I think the audience is mature audiences. You know, it was not very gory at all. There was some, but like I was expecting a bloodbath, you know, horror show. You know, it's Netflix. I figured like, hey, they're gonna go crazy with this one, but not really. You know, it was like a little dial back from the horror, but more or less on the adventure / suspense side of things. There was a ton of ruthless moments, I will say. Like if there's anything that you take from this, all the characters are just completely written to be completely ruthless. But with that being said, by the time we get to episode 3, you know, things picked up. I was worried for the first 2 episodes, but by the time we got to episode 3, things definitely picked up. In what's happening right now, as I said, you know, you have Albert, who is one of the most respected employees at Umbrella. His boss, Evelyn, is basically Cruella de Vil. And Albert is very much, you know, a unique employee. Like, only he can do what he does. So he has a little bit of ego to him, yet he's super dedicated to his work, which makes him an absent dad. So you have Billie and you have Billie and Jade, who are just kids who don't have their dad, trying to adapt, and they're teenagers, so like they're also happen to realize that the world is very big and actions have reactions, and certain actions have consequences and whatnot. So they're learning all these things, and it's tough for them. Plus, they're learning more about Umbrella and what their dad really does. So like, you know, it's interesting because you have Raccoon City and what happened, and that incident, and then the secrets of that starting to be revealed. They're testing the new drug Joy, which is again something that's supposed to change the world as a new state-of-the-art antidepressant. Billie and Jade, who are siblings, but like again, they have their own tension against one another, but yet they also are having like worldly issues, and then an absent dad. And then learning about their dad, who's too busy to be a father to them actually, so there's a lot of resentment towards him. So they're learning about that. They're learning about what happened at Raccoon City. They're learning about, you know, what their dad's really up to. They're learning about the world. They're having complete daddy issues, and then they're having sibling rivalry. Like, so a lot of different things are happening here. And quite frankly, no one knows who to trust. Like, there's just a lot of conflict wherever you go in all of this. And with that, you know, there is still a virus that's out there. The world is trying to heal, but like it's still out there, and that's still also like the big overshadowing, over umbrellaing factor of everything there. So like, you know, there's a character Baxter who I enjoy. You may know that name, just in case any hardcore Resident Evil fans. I didn't really land with his comedy, but man, was he cool. Very, very cool. One of my favorite characters. Episode 4 was totally cool. I gotta say that right there. And then as you got deeper and deeper into the season, then things started to become a little bit more brutal, a little bit more gory, and like you really start to see maybe the Resident Evil you were expecting, much like I was expecting when you was like, I want to see some fatalities. I want things to kind of get crazy, you know? So you get a little bit more of that. You will start to see some familiar bioweapons. I will say that too. Again, any hardcore Resident Evil fans, you will notice some of your favorite bioweapons appearing. And again, I gotta kind of again go back to the tone. Like, yeah, sometimes it's gory, sometimes it's not. So like, you know, again, it's much for mature audiences. It didn't kind of mature with my age in terms of just like, you're thinking it's just gonna get better and better in terms of the production, in terms of the budget, and stuff. You think you're just gonna get a whole bunch of different crazy things, and then the horror is just more enhanced. But no, they kind of went sort of down another avenue. And again, I feel like it's just more or less targeted for the mature audiences, because like with the whole teenage drama aspect, like it completely keeps this series grounded, like without a doubt. It never gets above and beyond so crazy in this world that we know exists, that it doesn't know its own identity. Much like World Beyond, it didn't go Walking Dead, it didn't go Fear Walking Dead. It just stayed in its own little capacity, and actually, you know, complementing other aspects of the world building, but nonetheless stayed kind of central to itself, you know. And it just kind of felt like a spy thriller at times, you know. But it's cool. But yeah, there's tons of Easter eggs. Really interesting one in episode 5, by the way. And whether you were a hardcore gamer, whether you were a fan of the series, I think there's a little bit of something for everybody in that. So you don't have to worry about knowing all the source material in order to appreciate this. And for me, like, yeah, you know, it has its moments. Some, you know, I didn't love this, I didn't hate it, but it had its moments, you know. The cast was super solid. I thought Lance Reddick, who plays Albert Wesker, is really good. You know, big fan of his from John Wick. I thought he was really good as one of our leads here. I thought both the young Jade and the adult Jade both were really good. A lot of continuity between the two actors who playing these characters. I thought it was really well. Young Billie was really dope. And then Paola Nunez, who plays Evelyn, again, Cruella de Vil, and I think she just gets more and more unhinged as the series get deeper and deeper. And I just, to go back to Lance, I really enjoyed his adaptation of Wesker, because Wesker is one of my favorite characters. I was definitely interested to seeing what would this Wesker look like in terms of learning more about his backstory as a family man, as a corporate umbrella employee. Like, what would that look like into the West where we know to come, you know? I also think there may be potential to make that all come full circle. That's one of the biggest things. We know, Lance now being a black Wesker, you start to think like, well, what about the white Wesker? Is this like a recasting? And we know Wesker's a clone, so how does that kind of get addressed, And I think there may be potential to kind of make this come full circle. You'll have to decide. But episode 7, I will say, speaking of Wesker, is when we truly get the Wesker we've been wanting to see. So stay tuned for that. I was like, yeah, bring it. Bright and early in that episode. And then finally the finale, I think, again, it gives you Walking Dead World Beyond vibes. And it's pretty cool. I mean, especially in the aspects of what CRM is to World Beyond, you will see how Umbrella is to this. So, it's pretty cool. I definitely liked it. And a very large cameo from Resident Evil 2 and 5. So be aware for that as well too. But overall, here's my thing. Resident Evil was not what I thought it was going to be. And for what I got, I'm not mad. I didn't love it. I did not hate it. But I am intrigued to see what a season 2 may look like. Now that I understand the toning, the direction, the storytelling, this not being in proper form of Raccoon City, but in new Raccoon City in South Africa, understanding the differences here, and understanding how big the world is. Thinking about the possibilities of where things may go, you know what I mean? And understanding just how obsessed Umbrella is with, trying to save the world, but yet create more chaos left and right. And, it's interesting. And overall, for the production, I thought was solid. Again, Netflix typically does a really good job in their adaptations of very popular franchises. So I was not mad at that at all. But it was different, and I think in Netflix hands now, also with the anime series and with this, I think there's a lot of respect about this franchise. And I think, going forward, I think things are only going to get better and better. So much like the first 2 episodes, I was like, this is really rough. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And then it got better and better. And I'm thinking now by season 1, I think season 2 is just going to be nuts. That's just my personal prediction. So, but hey, check it out again, July 14th, Resident Evil, 8 episodes, Netflix. Jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts about it. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon. Big gold bell,